Hey everyone, we have the new 2.5 anniversary update with the new Hinamori. So first off, we have a few new codes you could use for some resources and a few summon tickets for the new Hinamori banner. We have Darlene as the purchasable event unit. Really good unit. We have the new armor for Hinamori, which is also really good. And last we have the lobby background, of course. So make sure to grind the new event. So my team for Elite mode, if anyone is wondering, was this. You do not want to bring any AoE units because that will trigger Erd's passive that will heal the entire enemy's team and remove some debuffs. You can use AoE units if you want, like Seaside Noslin, but that's only if you can clear it. If you're seeing that you're failing, it means you need to switch your units into single target units, so you don't want to bring someone like Erica and Noslin because they will trigger Erd's ability easily. However, if you're doing enough damage, then it doesn't matter. So single target units like Dildry is going to be good. Now we have the new 2.5 anniversary quest event. So just make sure to do these dailies so that you get enough points to get the new necklace. And instead of a galaxy unit, we get a random limited unit. So this is still good if you need extra potential or if you're missing one of the limited or collab unit banners. We have the winner of the voting contest, which is Ruby again. So there will be another version of her now. We have buffs going on for the week. 10 free summons and increased drop rates. So now it's the time to farm anything that you are missing and hopefully you get lucky with the summons. And I want to quickly go over something from like the previous update. Oh, we also have Hinamori's new equipment. So if you are a spender, this is it. So unfortunately, for the people in the comments and in my guild that wanted Noah, she is paywalled. So I think I can confirm that any apostle in the game are going to be paid units. So unfortunately, if the new awakened Ith is considered a apostle, she's going to be a paywalled unit. Hopefully she's not, but in the story she's technically still an apostle, just not corrupted and crazy anymore. But we'll see. Hopefully she's not, but it seems from what I'm seeing here, any of the apostles are paid units. And if you are a spender, I highly would not recommend you purchase any of these equipments, but you probably will if you're trying to get Noah anyways. So if you look at these equipments, it's pretty bad. Aside from the speed, which is not really amazing, the stats are pretty low. So if you're looking at this, defense is at 5, and effect hit is 6. So that means this is like the roll of a 55 legendary substat. It's pretty bad. So basically, even if you use the skill reset thingy that they gave you when you buy these, it's going to default reset back to 5% or 6, whatever it started at. And if you do reset it, the speed probably starts off at 2, so I wouldn't even use the reset on this because the speed is, you know, pretty decent, I guess. But these other stats, as you can see, are pretty low, so even if you upgrade your 70-80 equipment, it's most likely going to have higher stat and score than this equipment. So this is pretty bad. It's not, I don't even consider this an 85 equipment because the substats below are the equivalent of low to mid rolls of 85 or one of the higher rolls for a 55 legendary. But the main stats are still 85, but the substats are pretty bad. We have the new Hinamori summon banner, and as you can see, they have a new summon progress meter. I've done 20 summons, and I did get Hinamori. But if you don't, I do highly recommend that you do the 250 summons, because even if you hit pity twice, in total you will get 2 Hinamoris from pity and 2 copies from up here, which automatically brings it to rank S potential. And if you're lucky, if you get 2 more copies before pity on these, you will be able to triple S her, and her potential is really good because it gives her self crit, meaning you do not need a crit set for her when you're trying to gear her up, or you would need less crit depending on your equipments. So if you can, reach 250, because this material item is also pretty rare. Like, we have 0 of these. This lets you give any of your regular colored units that is blue, green, or red, so any limited collab units that are green, red, or blue, and you just want some extra potentials for them and you don't want to summon, you can use this to increase the potential by 1. And as you can see, we get 2 copies of her exclusive Bondi, which is really good. So even if you don't get it from the 250 summons, you are guaranteed at least 2. So let's look at her bond. Increases crit resistance by 20% and HP by 10%, which is really good. And when hit by a non-crit attack, increases her action dodge by 8% and at max level 16. So if you get 1 copy, I think it's just 12%, but this is still really good because the crit resistance and HP does go with her kit. So looking at her kit, we have her basic attack. There is a 40% chance that she does a follow-up attack with her skill 2, and her damage is based on HP. Penetrates 70% of the target's defense, which is insane, guys. Anything that penetrates defense by almost 100% is insane. When focus is full, spend all focus to increase damage dealt and reduce the cooldown of Vampiric Rift to its minimum value. And her base crit is increased by 20, so she already has a ton of crit by default. And her ultimate increases the team's crit resistance and gives team immunity for 2 turns. So this is really good if you're using someone like the new mechanical Trist. So Basically, Mechanical Trist will now have a 100% crit resistance and cannot be crit unless she's fighting someone like Erica, units that can guarantee a crit. And if you have Raphael, she can technically rotate this crit resistance buff for your team. So I do highly recommend that you summon to 250 on Hinamori because she's a really good unit, just like the regular Hinamori. And if you're lucky, you can triple S her. And even if you're unlucky, you are guaranteed a rank S potential for her. We have, of course, the 10 free summons. So make sure to do your daily 10 free summons. Apparently, people are getting a ton of Galaxy units from these. And so far, I've never seen a Galaxy unit from this. Okay, that was my summon. So, how do you build the new Hinamori? So, you want to build her with as much HP as possible. So, full HP set and focus on substats with defense, HP, crit rate, crit damage, and then speed and resistance if possible. You don't need a full crit set for her because, like I said, if you do the 250 pity summons, you will guarantee a potential S Hinamori, which gives 11% crit. But even if you do need extra crit and because your gears are just trash, you can use a crit set as well, but having her with the potential crit means you need less crit rate in all your equipments. Plus her passive also gives 20%, so she already has a high base crit rate than any other unit. Now as you can see, I have HP set, resist set, and a crit set. These are just random equipments I have that kind of suits her. But once I get the extra copies of her, I won't actually need the crit set, but it's going to be kind of difficult for me to replace because the crit set has some high crit damage in it and HP, but I could easily replace these with another HP set and it would be more HP for her for more damage. You could also use a speed set if you wanted, or if you want to replace the boots with speed, you can if you want to be a little bit faster, but you don't need it to be that fast. But yeah, you want to maximize your HP and look for speed substats if possible in her equipment. Hopefully you could find her gears to boost her speed to at least 150, so she's not super slow. But you don't actually need speed for her. But having more speed does help to pressure the enemies into trying to defeat her quickly, because the faster she is and tanky she is, the more damage she will deal. And her exclusive is probably the better option here if you're going for survivability, because the bond gives 20% crit resistance and 10% more HP, and it also boosts her action gauge quickly, meaning even if she's slow, as long as they're hitting her, she's going to boost up. And if you have a fast version of her, she's just going to get her turn really fast. But if you already have a fast Hinamori and you just want more damage and you don't care for the crit resistance and 10% HP boost, you can use this set as well. and it boosts to crit damage, and in the case she does get hit by a crit, her damage will be reduced from that attack. So nothing too crazy, just build a full HP set, speed set, HP set, counter set, absorb set even. And if you have really good equipments, like let's just say you have resist set, a whole bunch of them, you can technically use a full resist set for her, and that will make it much easier for her to resist debuffs and make it much more difficult for the enemies to defeat her. But this is really based on your equipment, so if you have really good equipments like this, like if you're building resist, make sure you have resist and defense in her substats. Building her this way means you kind of don't want that much speed for her, or you're going to sacrifice speed because you're focusing on resistance so she doesn't get debuffed. And yeah, you don't really need crit set, and you can basically use any set for her, except for the Riptide set, the new Riptide set, because you don't want to sacrifice your HP. Unless somehow your HP is like 30,000 or something, then you can probably use one set. We have the new bond in the guild shop, so if you do have enough, you can purchase this if you want more accuracy and damage dealt to one of your DPS units. So usually this would be better for someone with an accuracy buff if you're trying to hit someone with a ton of evasion like Spider Lily. Or it could be used for your regular unit so that if they get blinded, they still have a 70% chance to hit instead of 50. So this is a nice new bond if you need something to equip instead of swapping random bonds on your units. Last is the new Riptide set that they've implemented in the game, and you can only farm it from the light hunt. So the set is, it reduces your max HP by 10%, but increases damage by 10%. So if you want to be a super glass cannon, this is the set. And I believe it could stack because it doesn't say only one can be equipped. So if you're looking at the other set, I believe it is called the penetration set. If you're looking at it, it says does not stack with set effects of the same type. So you can only have one penetration for 15%, and stacking more of these will not increase your penetration to 45 or 30%. So with the new set, if you want to be really glass cannon-y, would that make sense? Whoops. So with the rage set, you deal 30% damage, but the enemies need to have a debuff. So if you have this and the new Riptide set, your total damage could be up to 40% with the condition of having a debuff, but no stat penalty. However, if you're equipping 3 Riptide set, you will lose 10% if you're not equipping a rage set. So 30% constant damage dealt up, but it's going to cost you 30% max HP. So this really depends on how you're building your units. So if you just want 3 Riptide set for the guaranteed 30% damage boost at the cost of 30% HP loss, or you can equip the rage set with a Riptide for 40%. Or you could just not use any of these sets if you're not sure how to use them. But usually a DPS would use it, so usually it would be something like, let's just use a common Example, you have a destruction set and usually a crit set. But what if you do not need crit set? Then you can use the Riptide set. Especially for units with low HP, it doesn't really matter that much. But HP scaling units, you kind of don't want to put that on them unless somehow you have a little bit of HP you want to sacrifice. Just not all of it. So for the new Hinamori and someone like Mikhail, you actually don't want the Riptide set equipped on them. And that is basically it for this update. Make sure to farm the event, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!